Yeah, ain't nobody ever gave me shit. I had to take this shit, go get your paper, bitch. Rapid potty training every morning. Ho, I'm cooking dope and cleaning baby shit.
Welcome back to the Pop of the Man podcast. I'm your host, Jay. With me today, I have my always loyal co-host, Cord. What's up, Cord?
How you been? Chaos is a ladder. Mr. Peanut Butter was the only one to hold it down. I'm hurt.
Facts.
What's happening, O2?
We got DeLon with us today. What's up, DeLon?
Can I have some context on the peanut butter thing when we're done with this shit? Because he's the fuck out of
Oh no, I finished BoJack Horseman, and I was very shocked that Mr. Peanut Butter was the only person to hold him down at the end. Like everybody else is like, yeah, fam, we gotta leave you by yourself.
Mr. Peanut Butter is BoJack Horseman's dog friend. So yeah, you're missing a lot of context. In all honesty,
it's the one. It's the friend he hated the most.
Yes, that's the crazy thing about it. It's a friend he mistreated and hated the absolute most. The only one that wanted him in the end. Poetic. We got your favorite Suns fan with us today. How you feeling today, Cam? Talk to us.
Man, y'all already know what it is. Potential 8th seed Suns Nation, baby.
And you know we do.
Or potential 13 seed.
The worst.
You know what we do. We give you our takes on basketball, music, and everything in between. This is episode 101 of the Pop of the Man podcast. Last week we did not release an episode. We opted to just make a statement by posting links towards a bunch of the different funds that was bailing out those who've been protesting against police brutality. Before we get started today, I just wanted to point out that, yes, we are opposed to police brutality, and we support those who are fighting for basic human rights. And we also against those who try to hinder those who fight for those rights. So I think that's something important to say, and during this pressing time, that reassure people that we actually are on your side in this matter. But moving on, because this is a basketball music podcast, to the first topic, I want to talk to you guys about May's lineup of releases. So we're going to do a May roundup, pretty much. We're going to talk about what were our favorite releases this past month, and what were some disappointing duds that we just don't care for it at all. DeLon, what were some of your favorite releases this month?
Well, I think it's worth noting that this has been a pretty decent year for music, but it all just came to a halt in May. I don't know what happened, but niggas just stopped putting out that shit. Of course, we got the Alfredo towards the tail end. Something that I really liked, didn't love though, would be Code of the Friend. That might be the only thing that I actually listened to from May. I know people like that Polo G album. That's not really my thing, but that's another notable thing that people actually had a high reception to. So shout out to Polo G.
Polo G album was pretty good, not gonna lie.
I'll say this, you bunch of Code of the Friend. I actually have this down for myself, but it was a release I was looking forward to, but I did feel very underwhelmed listening to it. Like, it wasn't bad. I didn't feel anything listening to it. So for me, that was a disappointment this May. Polo G album, while I didn't think it was the best thing since sliced bread, like a lot of other people that we know were making it out to be, I thought it was a cool album. I thought it was cool, good, not, like you said, that's not my typical cup of tea. I still thought it was good. So I put that in, not my favorite releases, but a solid release this month. Favorite releases, did Dark Lane Demo Tapes come out this month? Or was that last month? It feels like a year ago since everybody
it was last month.
Okay, I couldn't remember. It felt like an eon ago since everybody was doing the Tuesday Slide. I ain't heard Tuesday Slide in weeks because of all the unrest that's been going on. My Way Deluxe Edition came out. I'm pretty sure that came out. I think My Way Deluxe Edition came out this month. Enjoyed that a lot. Alfredo, for sure. Slime B with Young Thug and Chris Brown was surprisingly good.
Yeah.
I was.
I did hear that. Yeah,
there was only two songs I wasn't really feeling, but they hit a lot better percentage than I thought they was gonna hit.
Yes,
that man Gunna came out of nowhere on both of them guest verses too. I was not expecting it.
So, Core, as the resident Young Thug ambassador, how'd you feel about Slime B?
That's legit like the only album I just really sat back and just listened to multiple times this year, and I lived it from beginning to end. Like the ones, I think it was like one song I didn't like. I can't even think of the name of it. But and y'all don't even know. Y'all know I don't even be listening to R&B like that. So for me to sit down and listen to a Chris Brown project with Young Thug, and they were perfectly balancing each other out. I really enjoyed it.
It was nice and refreshing just to hear Chris Brown in a confined space, not to a massive
Right.
65 to 70 song project, but did you hear him like, okay, I'm gonna go make a song, I'm gonna go make a collab album with Young Thug, and this is what we're gonna do for 13 songs, and just tap into that. And it was good. Like I love their chemistry it was amazing. I was thoroughly surprised, especially because like I always hate like that trap infusion into R&B, but they really made it work here. So shout out to them boys.
And that's something I was gonna say about the album. I think it was really interesting because I think that album gave Chris Brown the chance to rap, whereas it gave Young Thug the opportunity to kind of do some of that singing and harmonizing that he likes to do as well. So and it worked out really well, like you said.
And another thing, it looks like Chris Brown has come down from his streaming tactics because Young Thug said he really wants to release it on his birthday, so put it out on like a Monday on SoundCloud for 3 days before it went for sale. So if Chris Brown is out of his 40 songs and album bag for streaming purposes, I'm kind of excited for that next album.
Same. Now, that's about in terms of releases. I can't remember all that came out this week. I want to say that Mozzie released the album this month. I think that came out this month, not April. If Mozzie album came out this month, that was also another fan favorite for me. That's something else I really enjoyed. Love almost everything that Mozzie puts out. I had a couple of songs that I liked a lot, with one of them being TD by Lil Yachty, which had A$AP Rocky, had Tyler, Creator, and it had Tierra Whack on there. To which every time I hear Tierra Whack appear on a new song or a guest feature, it reminds me that, oh wow, I forgot that she legitimately could be the best female rapper if she actually made songs longer than a minute. So after hearing that, I was like, she completely annihilated everybody else on that song, even though I thought everybody else had good to great verses. Cause I thought Tyler had a phenomenal verse as well. Another song that came out this month that I really enjoyed was Miles Davis by Blue. Blue and Exile are getting ready to release a new album together, which I'm thoroughly excited about. So it was good.
And only you are excited about it.
And I'm not the only one now. Come on now. DeLon do this to me every time. I mention Blue.
Got throw our backpacks.
DeLon like, oh, here he go again. Like DeLon be like,
take me back to 08.
Yes, I'm excited about Blue. I think, and like after hearing the song, I think it's gonna be a lot of reminiscent of what I thought was special about Below the Heavens. But in terms of like disappointing albums, like I said, Coda Friend, I found it disappointing. Did not feel the urge to go back and listen to it. The Future album come out this month? Because I feel like that's disappointing.
It did.
That was some mid. I ain't gonna lie to you. I listened to 5 to 6 songs, and I stopped to go do something else. I just felt no urge to go back because I was underwhelmed by those first 5 to 6 songs.
I fell asleep on track 5, and that was the end of my Future experience. Niggas out here blaming Lori Harvey. Niggas said Future in love. I can't take it.
I mean, I think I like Save Me EP. I think he was in love then. It was cool. I enjoyed it more so than like the first 5 songs I heard on whatever Future album was called this time. I'm drawing a blank on it. But I listened to Wanna. I wouldn't call it disappointing because I don't really like Gunna. I don't really think he's that nice. So, but I didn't enjoy it, so I'll say that much. So yeah, Wanna was a disappointing release too for me. But if you guys have no other releases I want to talk about, we can just go talk to the biggest bombshell that happened this week. The NBA is back. Finally. It'll be returning, I believe. I think training camp is like July 7th, the 17th. I'm pretty sure I got the dates wrong, but it's going to be like mid-July. They're going to have a training camp. They're going to have about 2 to 3 preseason games, and then they will play 8 regular season games. Teams will play the next 8 teams on their schedule from when they stopped, and they'll skip over teams that aren't playoff. They'll skip over teams that didn't get invited. So 22 teams got invited. The 8 teams that were already in the playoff picture for the East and West, plus about 4 teams in the West. You have the Kings, you have the Spurs, you have the Pelicans, you have the Suns, and the Trailblazers. All 5 of those teams are still in the hunt. And then in the East,
the Wizards.
Yep, just the Wizards in the East. So in terms of the playoff picture, they chose teams that were at least 4 games back in each conference. And the new rules that they set up is that they're going to play 8 games. After the end of those 8 games, whoever is in the 9th seed, if they were at least 3.5 games back or higher, like two games back, 1 game back, they'll be allowed to enter a double elimination tourney with the 8th seed, meaning that if the 9th seed wins, they'd have to play another game and win again to be the 8th seed. And if the 8th seed win is single elimination, so the 9th seed, they just automatically lock up the 8th seed. So like the Grizzlies and the Pelicans were the 8th and 9th. If the Grizzlies win, they automatically keep the 8th seed. If the Pelicans win, they'd have to win twice in order to take the 8th seed away from the Grizzlies. With that being said,
the playoffs should be done by Halloween, right?
Yes.
Halloween, maybe.
I think it's going to be like October is when the playoffs will be over.
I believe the date is Game 7 fall. Game 7, the latest that the season could go would fall on Game 7 of the finals will fall on October the 7th, I think.
Yes, and then I think the lottery would happen that week. Free agency would happen like 4 or 5 days later. So all of that. So the NBA finals, the lottery, and free agency would all happen in the month of October, with the new season starting, I think, sometime late November, early December. So basketball is going. I think basketball going to be gone for like 6 weeks actually. So I think the season will end in like the beginning of October. So yeah, it'll come back in like around the end of November. So we'll only have 6 weeks without basketball. If you don't count the 2 months we've already missed in a way. But so I want to ask you guys, how do y'all feel about the current format of the 22 teams, and what are your thoughts on the play-in tourney?
Well, so I love it. I'm a huge fan, huge proponent of it. I was actually pretty interested in the group stage thing. I thought it was something that was kind of different and that would make the NBA stand out. But I mean, I like I heard a lot of people say, and I think I heard a lot of you guys say on here, I think it would be kind of unfair, and I don't think it would really complement the people who have worked so hard to actually get in the playoffs, where you could lose a couple games and not make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So I don't really like that proponent of it. So I was kind of a fan of it, but not really. But this I can really agree with. And what I really like about this is that they're giving teams the opportunity, and it's kind of, especially for me being a Suns fan and probably Pelicans fans and a couple other things, they're probably giving us false hope that we wouldn't have had anyway, and just giving us opportunity to watch our teams for just a little bit longer, because I don't think we were probably about 5 games out of the playoffs. I think we're 5 or 6 games out of the playoffs, maybe 4. I'm not sure. But if we were to actually play the end of the season the way it was supposed to go, probably weren't going to make the playoffs, and the seeding probably wasn't going to change much. But just getting these other fan bases involved brings more viewership and just gives them the opportunity. Only thing that I don't like, that I will criticize about this, is that I feel like the start of the next season is coming a bit too soon. And that's the only thing that I don't like, that it would be such a condensed rest period for these teams that make the finals.
So, yeah, so the thought is, like, they've already had a lot of rest. They're not going to be playing that much. Like, they didn't play that much this past season, so that even though they have a shortened, off season, they didn't put as much strain on their bodies as they normally would, going all the way to the finals. I still don't like it. Like you said, I hate this. They could have started at Christmas. They could have, but they try and get as much revenue as they possibly can before that new deal, the new TV deal. In terms of like the play-in tournament, I like it a lot. People have been opposed to doing anything like this, and before this is their chance to actually try it out and see how people like it. I think it'll be a success. Mm-hmm. I think it's a great way to incentivize people, not like the 9th and 10th and 11th seed, not to tank. It'll make them be more competitive if they had the opportunity to play a double elimination tournament against the 8th seed. The only thing I don't like is it creates a bigger unfair advantage for the 8th seed, because they would have to play this double elimination tournament and then turn around and play the number 1 seed in the actual conference. Then that makes it even – it then becomes like a formality in a way. Then at that point, you're the 8th seed, but you already have the disadvantage in terms of home court, in terms of rest, because you've been playing extra games that the first seed didn't play, and then you're just the worst team. So then it's like the chance of 8th seed of setting up a number 1 seed is even less likely. So then you basically just fighting for the right to just be in the playoffs, not to actually have a chance to, be successful at all in the playoffs. But I think I like the play-in tournament. I think it'll be valuable. DeLon, a lot of teams though are complaining about home court advantage because if they all playing in the exact same place, there's no home court advantage. They pitched some ideas about how to substitute that. They're like, give the home court team extra possessions. Let the higher seeded team have more coaching staff. They proposed it. One team, don't get to have their coach on the bench.
And they said we're going to take the floor from our stadium and bring it to Orlando. Like, niggas, just play basketball. Niggas, just play basketball. At that point where we're picking up, we're transporting floors for a home court advantage game, just play basketball.
And like somebody said, like, if you're the better team, you're the better team. And I think that'll be even more so the case this year. Like, people talking about this game, this season will be an asterisk because there's no fans. In all honesty, though, when you think about if you take away home court advantage, that means it's essentially who's the better team. If you take away the advantage, it's literally who's the better team if you're taking that away. And so I think it'll be interesting to see which of these like teams come out on top.
I think an advantage in itself is not having to play in that damn tournament, because to me, home court advantage is helping you in the playoffs, but like for the regular season, what was it all for? What did you earn? What was the difference of being 2 and 3? Now that it's all shaken out, you don't have to play in that damn play-in tourney, and that is going to help a lot of people. Might hurt a lot of people for chemistry issues, but it is going to help a lot of people because now that 6 seed was a lot more important than you thought it was going to be.
Facts. Because like I said, like now the home court advantage is gone. Like a team like the Thunder could cause some issues for potential teams in the playoffs because, they don't have to worry about like traveling and they don't have to worry about home crowds, away crowds, and things of that nature. Now, I want to ask you guys about Damian Lillard. Well, I guess I ain't going to put it all on Dame. I'm going to ask you guys about the Portland Trail Blazers. The Portland Trail Blazers were the lone team to vote against this new format with 22 teams and things of that nature. I think they said that they wanted more teams to be included. I think they wanted only 20 teams. They wanted 20 teams included, and they thought it was unfair in other ways. How do you think the Trailblazers had a ground to stand on? Do you think they were right to push against this?
I think there are a lot of teams that in that 8th seed competition. So I see what they're saying, but I mean, I really respect it because it really feels like they're backing up Dame Lillard. So you got to respect that team sticking up for their star player when that normally does not happen.
Because like I said, Dame said he didn't want to come back if the games were going to be pointless. Technically, these games aren't pointless. He's 3.5 games back right now. So his team is already in that range where he would be eligible for the play-in tournament. He just has to make sure the Blazers are better than the 9th, 10th, and 11th seed, which I think is fair in that sense. Like, he's given a chance. Like, if the Blazers are truly better than the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th seed, then they'll be better. Then, he'll be the 9th seed. If he's truly better than the 8th seed, they'll beat him twice. It'll be hard, but they'll beat him twice if they are truly better and deserve that spot over the Grizzlies. So I don't quite understand why he wanted less teams involved. I guess because he was just, that's more teams he got to compete against in the West. I assume that's why he didn't like it.
It feels like Dame Lillard has this thing with like not seeming like a sideshow to these niggas. Because he's like, hey, don't bring me back if we're going to play pointless games. Why are we going to have like a 16 tourney just to get one team in? Like, he just doesn't want to seem like a sideshow.
And that's what a lot of people feel, that this has all been a ploy to somehow get Zion in the playoff picture. And because if he gets in, he would automatically be playing against LeBron. And so there'll be the whole LeBron versus Zion playoff matchup. Corey, what do you feel about how you feel about that? Do you think that this is unfair what the NBA is doing? Do you feel like this is a blatant attempt to get Zion in? And if he is, do you even care?
And I look at it this way: at the end of the day, NBA is about making money. They missed out a lot of money because the Daryl Moore is trying to tweet. Then the coronavirus hit. So for them, they doing anything possible to make some extra money and get some views. Is it the best thing? Nah, but at the end of the day, it's a business, so I don't really see the issue with it. And with Dame, I mean, you came out and complained and said, if I ain't playing for the playoffs, I'm not playing. Then they said, well, all right, then you're not the only person that we trying to get into the playoffs. There's other people who want to get into the playoffs. We'd like to see Devin Booker's potentially make it. We'd like to see the Spurs potentially make it. We'd like to see the Pelicans and the Grizzlies and all the other teams get a chance to get in the AFC. So I don't see the point of him saying, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I respect the fact that the team held him down. He the best player on the team, face of the franchise, whatever he wants. You got to fight for it and do it. But why would you try to stop? Like, why would you just limit it at 20 teams if 22 can go? And if you're scared of the Spurs and the Suns, maybe you shouldn't be in the playoffs. It's just me. It's just me.
Nah, I
if you scared to go against DeMar DeRozan and Marcus Aldridge, do you really deserve to be in the playoffs? That's just how I feel about it. But at the same time, if they go hold it down for Dame, I respect. I don't see the point of limiting it. But and then also, we want as much basketball as we can get. So if we got a battle royale for the 8th seed, I want to see everything.
I also think it's funny that like none of the Eastern teams that like, you know, the fact that there's like 5 West teams on the 1 East team. I think it's hilarious that like no East team was like, nah, this ain't right. Y'all got to.
Like, I see it.
It was like y'all can, because like the Hornets aren't that far behind. Like they could have.
Rozier said he's going on vacation.
No, but the thing is, Terry Rozier was upset about it. Like a couple of Hornet players were upset about the fact that they potentially wouldn't not be included. And I thought it was interesting a team that close. Like the other team didn't really have much of a leg to stand on. Like the Hawks, like there was like almost no chance they were going to be in the playoffs.
No.
Even if the season didn't end. But I would think the team like the Hornets that weren't that far behind in the standings in the East would have been pushing like, hey, include us. Like, include us.
You would
like,
think Michael Jordan loves competition or something, but.
Yeah, I mean, that guy right there.
Hey, man. Better chance for a high pick.
Another
Speaking of.
Better chance for a high pick.
Number 3, we coming.
Oh, are y'all number 3 in the lottery odds?
Yes, we are.
Ooh, LaMelo on the horizon.
I was like, I don't know what they're gonna do. I was hoping to God they didn't try to finish the season. I was like, hey, let's just start the playoffs. Let's do something right now. We got it. And this is the next best thing.
We'll come back and we'll talk about the team, what team we feel like will win the 8th seed in the East and West. But it's time for Who's Wildin', where Cord tells us about someone who's been wilding to the absolute max. Cord, who do you have this week?
Man, for this week, I got the one, the only. I can't even call her a legend no more. Trina, man. I can't even put no spice on her name. Y'all know what's been going on the past couple weeks. Been a lot of protests. This, then third. Chaos has been going all around, and I love to see it because people fighting for freedom. And you know, the one thing that a lot of people have been saying around this time is, where are the celebrities? What are the celebrities go say? What they go do? They talk about black this, black that. Then when it's time to be black, they all going miss. Gone in the darkness. Well, Trina heard that and said, you know what, you guys? I got an opinion on this, and I'm going to say it. So she came out and said, I don't want these people on the streets. Let the police get them. They some animals, and they making my city look bad. Fam.
She said the animals out of a zoo, didn't she?
They acting like animals out of the zoo. Get the animals off the streets, fam. I ain't seen Nazis with takes like that when it comes to the protests. So the fact that Trina, out of all people, came out and said this, bro, like when I first saw it, I thought it was fake. I saw the tweets, I'm like, bro, this can't be real. And I watched the video, and I was like, no, not the baddest. And she the saddest out your now, fam. And as soon as I finished watching the video, the first thing that came to my mind was, bro, I know Kaya finna get on her neck for this. Bro, she done had like 3 little videos on Trina neck, and I've been crying, laughing at all of them. Trina the goddamn Bassett Ham. You hate to see it. But no. But to me, I think the worst part about this whole situation is, if you gonna say something, you gonna stand on, you can't fold. It's the fact that she said, I don't regret nothing that I said. I got all the time in the world, and we have not seen nor heard from Trina since she made that post. Pray for her PR team. They the real victims in all of this. Because I don't know how they get past any of this.
I think she actually tried to get on
the
radio. We
ain't gonna never forgive Trina for this.
I think she actually tried to get on the radio and explain herself the next day, I think. And people just struggling on the road. They're like, no, we ain't trying to hear that.
You can't explain that.
Like, you can't.
Because you gotta think about it. If she would have been like, hey, I'm not the big fan of the ride, and people would have been like, they would have been mad at her. You know, they'll let her cook. But it's the fact that she was like, Y'all acting like animals at the zoo. Get the animals off the street. The police need to get y'all. Y'all making my city look bad. I don't think you can ever recover from this.
No.
I ain't never seen no black celebrity come out and say nothing this wild.
And they've been saying a lot of wild things this week. 2 weeks.
But this, man, I don't even be talking about Trina on the podcast like this. So for me to have to come out and make Trina about who was wild, it hurt. But she deserves it. She deserves all the slander she get. And she ain't never get no defense from me.
I think it's amazing that so many celebrities feel the urge to say something like this. That, black celebrities to be specific, the ones who have been a part of our plight. And it's amazing to me that money has so far removed them from our reality that they feel comfortable calling other people animals and saying, talking down on black people who are trying to protest. It's jarring because my thing is, like, people like this, nobody was, the classic joke. Who cares? Where's Ja? Like, who cares what Ja says in a time like this? Nobody was checking to see what Trina felt like.
Where's the baddest?
Nobody.
Where is the baddest?
And nobody cared what Trina thought about this. It'd been nice to hear her say something, but Trina did not have to speak on this. Like, this is one of the cases where she didn't have to voice how she felt, and instead she's like, okay.
Nobody would have asked for her.
No. And, like, there's certain celebrities that people feel like should speak up, but it's literally been celebrities that nobody feels she has an obligation to speak, and they have. And all those celebrities have all chosen to talk down on the protesters, and it just blows my mind. Completely blows my mind.
Hey, on a serious note, though, who's wild on this side? This is proof. All the proof I see, man. Capitalism evil, fan. You get black people that come from the worst conditions. You get them enough money, they feel like they ain't black no more, fam. We got to eat the rich. You know what time it is.
Word to no name.
It's sad, man. And you know what? I'm going to say this, and everybody be on no name head. Everybody be saying no name be wilding. She the only person making a little bit of sense right now. I'm not going to hold you. When all this chaos stuff, hey, don't get me wrong.
She put up like 60 shots a game. Like, she hitting 20.
Okay, that tweet was kind of wild, but she wanted a few. Her and John Boyega, fam, they on the front lines doing their thing, talking their talk. I respect what they doing. Do I agree with everything they ain't saying? No, but I gotta give her credit though. You know what she was saying? Like, I'm gonna stop rapping because I'm tired of rapping in crowds full of white people. We was like, yo, this chick wild. No, now looking at it. I'm saying they crazy.
I mean, it's still kind of crazy because she's like, I understand the sentiment, but it's still a wild thing to say.
She said, all white people unfollow me if y'all ain't ready to pay back black people, starting with
what time
the estates. I was like, damn, I don't even got an estate. I kind of he's got an estate.
Like, I'm gonna tell you what, man.
Hey,
I will fight for our quality.
She wants your F-150, your trailer house if you got it. She want all that.
The 4-wheelers. She want everything.
All that.
I say, ain't nobody with money gonna tell me to give up mine.
Ribbon and deer meat in your refrigerator. She need that.
And speaking of
the family bear trap that didn't pass it down from generation to generation, need that. Need that too.
Speaking of
need that. All that.
The game being hypocritical as fuck.
Oh,
that nigga funny. That nigga said, why y'all out here tearing up the city?
No, the game is like, why are y'all resorting to violence? Human on human violence is not the solution.
I'm gonna murder people, allegedly.
Fam. Are we talking about the game that every 6 seconds he starts a beef with another rapper for absolutely no reason and he always trying to resort to violence? I'm just saying, man, you can't spend your whole career chasing after people, looking for people, doing all this talk about how you want to kill all these artists and ain't got nothing to do with your career. And now all of us, well, okay, actually, I'll take it back. I'm going to let the game cook a little bit because he has been on a different way since Nip died. I'm going to let him slide just a little bit. But you can't spend your whole career being a hyper-violent person. And now that, actually, on to a bigger point. Why are the street rappers there, fam?
Oh, no, see. So
I remember a couple weeks ago, every street rapper was, you know what?
I was so Larry June and Boldy James have both come out and spoken, and they both spoken against the protesters. And I just think to myself, like, they're talking about you can't be destroying the community. I'm like, don't y'all rap about selling crack and coke?
Fam.
Like, that don't make sense.
Fam.
Like, but now you care about the community?
All the street rappers was in their pulpits a month ago. We gotta protect ourselves from vultures and this, that, and third. We run around with choppers. We finding Takashi and everybody who making us look bad. Cops out here beating the brakes off of random civilians and the street niggas. Oh, they at the crib. Oh, nah, man. Y'all too violent right now. We don't want no part of that. I might sue somebody on the Tuesday, but right now, I don't want to.
Nigga was loud as fuck when Dwayne Wade was out here.
Exactly.
All of a sudden, niggas in these streets getting beat up by police. He ain't heard him since.
Bruh, I see Lord Jamar Fold. The fam. All these, I'm super woke, I'm super witty, I want this, I want to smoke with white people. Now that it's time to fight the system, all these people gone missing. Jordan, do you remember what I used to say in college all the time? I used to say this all the time.
A lot of stuff.
I ain't gonna say it on the podcast. Okay. I'm gonna say it after the podcast.
Okay.
But you know what my statement is. We are the Uchiha clan. And you know what I mean when I say that.
I know exactly what you're saying. I know. I remember. It's not a compliment by any means.
Because everybody be talking about how they stepping 10 toes down. Then when it's time to fight systems of oppression, niggas tiptoeing. I'm just saying.
Grant's gonna love this analogy. Grant is gonna love this analogy when he hears it.
And it's crazy because it's like the most outspoken people got nothing to say right now. Like nothing.
Quiet.
And this is my thing too. Like I said, it's more so like I don't care about difference of opinion. I think I don't agree with their opinion if you feel the other way. It's just the people who are choosing to side against the protest, like people like Game who perpetuates violence and talks about violence, and resorting to that. People like like Boulder James and other street rappers who talk about doing things in their community that's a detriment to their community, and not saying, "Hey guys, shouldn't we care about our community?" Like that kind of stuff. Like you can't set like the images they've been selling to us, and now they're reneging on it. Makes me look at them sideways in terms of their community.
It's all thing you can say, fam. I look, when it's a woman, they ready to go crazy. When it's somebody who gay, they ready to go crazy.
Talk about
when it's somebody that's trans, they ready to go crazy. When it's time to fight oppression, they holding their tail between their legs, phone ain't got nothing to say. I can't defend it. I can't respect it. I don't appreciate it. I ain't trying to hear nothing else from none of these people. Fuck them. Just like that.
I love it.
Just like that.
Just like that. I think we can end right there. That's perfect. So I like that, Cam. So moving on to the next topic, I want to talk to you guys about the fight for the 8th seed. Let me bring up this graphic just a second. Okay. Oh, there we go. So
that needs to be the new transition music.
So here is the 22 teams that were invited to the Orlando.
Funny ass picture, Giannis.
Yes, they could have got a better one. So we have in the West, we have the Portland Trail Blazers at 9, the Pelicans at 10, Kings at 11, Spurs at 12, Suns at 13. If I remember correctly, 9 through 12 are all 3.5 games back of the 8th seed. I think the Phoenix Suns might be 4 games back of the 8th seed. Who do you guys foresee getting into the play-in tournament and then potentially upsetting the Grizzlies and then moving into the actual tournament? Or do you see the Grizzlies holding on to it?
And I'm real with you. I'm my fault.
Go ahead, Core.
I'm keep real with you, man. I love the Grizzlies. I love what Ja Morant doing. If he go against the Blazers, he getting outgunned. And if he go against the Pelicans, he getting clamped down. Ja Morant is a very great point guard. But if you got to go against Lonzo Ball and Drew Holiday, they putting you in a gauntlet, my guy. I saw that game they went against the Pelicans, and it was not pretty. And I would hate for him to have to play them twice.
Just saying. They'd had the benefit of having, being able to they had the benefit of only having to beat the other team once. The Trailblazers, I think that's tricky because Dame could, go supernova for 2 games straight. And I'd have to think that Joseph Nurkic is healthy now. I'd have to imagine that he's very healthy. See what I'm saying? So all these teams that are here, the team I would like the most to make it in. I talked about how it was unfair to the 8th seed that they could have turned around and played the Lakers. But that being said, the only team I feel like could take that advantage and still give the 1 seed some problems is the Blazers. Dame, CJ, Nurkic. I feel like they could then Melo. I feel like they can cause some ruckus even though they wouldn't beat the Lakers, but they could, make
Boy, I don't know, man.
I
I don't know.
We'll come back to this if the Blazers actually win it. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts then and there. But I think the Blazers can outgun them if they stay the ninth seed. I definitely think they can beat Grizzlies twice. I think they could. I'm pretty confident in that. Now the other teams, like the Kings, I couldn't foresee the Kings beating the Grizzlies twice. I couldn't foresee the Spurs beating them twice.
Lou Walton go forward.
I couldn't, the Phoenix Suns. That's a toss up in the air because y'all, Cam, the way y'all play is very y'all be very.
They can outgun them. They can possibly outgun them.
Yeah, but then they don't really defend some games, so it's like in a series where I can't say I know this team can't defend. I can't say that they'll be able to outgun them both 2 games straight. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think the Blazers will be the one that ends up in the play-in tournament, and I think the Blazers, if they are in the play-in tournament, I think the Blazers will end up substituting the Grizzlies. The Pelicans, they have been playing better. They were more unified before the season ended, and the Grizzlies were downsliding, losing games before the end of the season. But the Pelicans don't really defend as a team either, and that's why I'm not confident in their ability to be better than the Blazers for the next 8 games and also overtake the Grizzlies by winning 2 consecutive games. Not confident in it. Cam, what do you think?
Okay, so I got 2 points to make about this. The first point is I think what we're kind of forgetting and leaving out in all of this is that we're talking about the teams that are going to compete for the 8th seed and things like that. But what's also interesting, we got a whole 8 games to choose from. So one of those seeds that are a little bit higher could also possibly slip a little down. Especially, I think the Dallas Mavericks are a team that could be at risk for sure. So
really,
I mean, I don't see them. I don't see them guaranteeing the Mavericks could slip. I feel like, but maybe that's just personal preference. I don't know. Maybe I want them to.
I don't think that statistically, mathematically speaking, I'm double checking. I'm not sure Dallas can't. No, see, Dallas are full 7 games up on the Grizzlies. So they would literally have to lose every single game,
and the Grizzlies have to win every single game
in order for the Dallas fall to 8 and then be in that play.
Okay, I didn't know it was that far. But another thing is, I feel like in all of this, we're gonna see what type of player John Morant really is.
Okay, so let me ask you guys. Remember, you brought up a great point too, Cam. Is one thing we got to consider the schedules for these next 8 games for each team, which is something I have not been able to look into a lot.
It's a lot of games.
It's a lot of different games. So the Blazers might have to play against, I don't know, the Clippers, the Lakers. Maybe they might have played against the Thunder twice. They might have a bunch of Western Conference teams they got to play 8 times, and then the Grizzlies might have to play, or the Kings might have to play a bunch of Eastern teams like the Pacers, the Nets, who aren't bad teams, but they aren't as hard as the others. So that's something we also have to take into account. But if I had to just guesstimate without looking, I would say I'm signing with the Blazers to come out on top of this because of their personnel and the fact that they're actually better than their record is the fact that they had so many injuries throughout the year. And I feel like a lot of them players are back now. So I feel like they're actually way better than their actual on record. So let me ask y'all about the East. So it turns out the Wizards are actually 5.5 games back of the Magic. So they're not even if the season ended today. Well, if we get straight to the playoffs, they would not be able to even participate in the play-in term. You got to be better than 4 games behind the 8th seed. With that being said, do y'all see? Let me see. I'm gonna pull up their schedule. Can you guys foresee the Wizards getting within striking distance? They had the number 1 off. They had a top 5 offense before the break, but they were dead last at defense.
Tough.
Very much so.
Tough.
It's spot on analysis, Cord.
Tough.
Like I said, it's a toss up in the air because the Wizards weren't, the Magic aren't the best team. But looking at the next 8 games for the Wizards, they will be facing the Celtics, the Thunder, the 76ers, the Nets, skip the Hawks, the Bucks, the Celtics, the Suns, and the Bucks.
I mean,
what was the question again?
Can the Wizards get within striking distance?
How many?
They got to win 5 of those.
Well, they got to get within 3.5 games back of the Magic. And right now they're 5.5 games back of the Magic, but they got 2 games against the Bucks, some games against the Celtics. The easiest game there might be the Suns.
That's it right there. That's it right there.
That's one win, maybe. But then you got the Magic on the other hand. They have to. Oh wait, that's the Bucks. I didn't mean to click on the Bucks. What the world? But I don't think there's the Magic schedule. I don't think the Magic schedule is as loaded as the Wizards.
Magic schedule don't matter if they don't win.
That is tough.
That's true. So like I don't think the Magic only have it's a bunch of easy teams. They got to play the Kings, the Nets, the Pacers, the Nets, the Pelicans, Celtics, and then I think the Sixers. I think that's 8. So yeah,
lock it up. Lock it up.
Bradley Beal going home. I'm saying I like the fact that they're giving Bradley Beal a chance because he's been crying about not being an All-Star. Well, now here's a chance to. They're not even saying, hey, be the 8th seed. They're saying at least be 3.5 games back of the 8th seed, and then you know what I'm saying. So now put your money where your mouth is. Show us something, Bradley. Show us something.
It's so disrespectful.
Unless Jerome Robinson turns into Jesus Christ, there is no way they get into the playoffs.
Well, luckily for the Wizards, Clipper players have a history of becoming better players after leaving the Clippers. So Jerome Robinson, he already hit a buzzer beater for them. Barely could hit a shot for us. So
I forgot about it.
I think it happened like the last night of the season. That happened. Bizarre year this is. But
we sleeping on a Japanese Carmelo, Rui Hachimura.
Rui Hachimura.
Japanese Andrew Wiggins. I'm sorry.
The Yakuza Kawhi Leonard.
Relax, Court. But yeah, I don't have faith in the Wizards even getting into the play-in tournament. Even if they do, they lost a lot of games where Bradley Beal would score 50.
Yeah,
and they would still lose.
Yeah.
So I can't just say that they would win 2 games straight against the Magic. So I don't think they'll get into the play-in tournament. I don't think they'll even get a chance. And even if they did, I don't see them beating the Magic twice. And that's not even a testament to how good the Magic are. It's a testament to how bad the Wizards have been all year.
We forget something though. Even if they don't make a playoff, this will be a great audition for Bradley Beal for any team that's potentially going to trade for him in the next year.
That's
true. Big fact.
They were playing his ass off.
Also, John Wall might come out. I need to check to see if John Wall's going to come back because he's saying he's ready.
He said he's healthy, but I ain't heard him coming back.
I haven't heard them rule him out either, like they ruled out KD either.
KD, Kyrie, John Wall, stay the career. Please don't come back. Don't put yourself at risk for this.
What were you about to say, Cam?
No, I think the most interesting aspect of all this is that there are going to be teams out here like honestly the Suns, but like the Kings and the Spurs and things like that. Teams, imagine how hard these players are about to play because honestly, when the season was ending, they probably were thinking that they weren't going to have a shot at making the playoffs.
Yep.
And now, like imagine how hard they're about to play just to get within 3.5 games of the 8th seed just to have an opportunity to make it. Because I mean, imagine the Suns make the playoffs this season. For one, how would the draft lottery work? Is that still gonna work the same way? I actually don't know. But anyway, like imagine we make the playoffs this season. Like imagine the springboard that could be for moving forward, like with the core that we have now.
Facts.
I think the lottery. I think it's something else like the Trailblazers pushed against because they didn't like how the lottery would be set up. I think they had questions about it. But to my understanding, if you finish if Phoenix Suns finish at the 9th seed, they would draft as if they're the 9th seed rather than drafting as the 8th seed.
Okay.
That's what I think would end up happening. I think that's just shot in the dark. Not 100% sure. But yeah, so I think we were pretty much agreed that the Wizards are doomed, and despite the NBA's wishes for the Pelicans to be into the playoff picture, we are favoring the Blazers. I think that's fair to say. Moving on to the next topic.
One question.
Oh, okay.
Are players at the tournament but not playing allowed to be in the arena watching the games? Because that would be fucking hilarious. Watching them all root against a particular team.
That
would be hilarious.
there will be nobody else in the stadium. So you would literally be able to see them and watch their reactions to every play in a stadium. I don't think so because they're already trying to be careful.
Or counting on somebody else to lose. I mean, if they're all getting tested every day and they're all there and people are coming in to play on that same court, I don't really see the issue with that unless, like, if you leave, can't come back in for the rest of the day. That would have to be the thing. But I think that would be a great alternative to them because they're talking about playing 2K sounds over the fucking.
I saw that, yeah.
That would be hilarious and great if we can watch all these teams who are literally counting on that team to win, that team to lose in the stands watching that game.
On some middle school shit. Like during the summer, we have like 8 teams come to the school and like y'all all watching teams play. Like that would be hilarious. I actually hope that's what happens. I hope the stadium don't be completely empty. I hope they let the teams come in and watch. I need that because even if they're not rooting against them, it'll be just fun to watch players' reactions to shit that's happening in the game.
It's facts.
That's one of the best parts about the dunk contest.
Yeah, it is. Like, seriously, at this point.
It's the reactions.
Moving on to the next topic, I want to talk to you guys about the most overrated albums of the 2010s. Conversation, this topic spurred when I talked to Cord, and he mentioned that he felt like 444 was overrated. And then we went down a dark hole where we talked about what we thought were the actual most he thought 444 was overrated, but he didn't think it was the most overrated. So I thought to myself, so what was the most overrated album?
Okay, there we go.
Yes, yeah. I fixed you up this time, Cord. So with that being said,
there we go.
Cord, what do you feel like is the most overrated album of the 2010s?
Y'all thought I was going to change my answer. It's still nothing was the same. I ain't folding. I ain't backing down. I ain't changing nothing.
All right,
I was going to say Take Care. And then, Jacquez explained why he thought it was Take Care. And I said, you know what? Nothing was the same as my favorite Drake album. And for years, like people are like, it's one of the best albums of the decade, is in the third. And, I said, you know what? I'm going to go back and listen to it. This is my favorite Drake project. I don't already listen to Drake all that much. But this is the project I always hold in high regard. And I went back and I listened to it and I was like, oh, this is it's cool. It just ain't what I thought it was. And whenever I just see people talking about it, like, yo, this is best project, this, that, and the third, and I just don't feel like it is his best project. But I don't think it's one of the best projects. Like, if I'm ranking like top 5, top 10 albums of the 2010s, I don't think that makes my cut. Me personally. I can't speak for every.
So your take on Another One the Same is that it's not a bad album, a mediocre album, a mid album. It's it's a very good album, but because
people hold it in a very high regard because they all know, because a lot of people feel like it's Drake's best project, so they have to overrate it when they compare it to other rappers' projects.
Gotcha. Sorry, if you aren't seeing red right now after listening to Cord's spiel about Nothing Was the Same being overrated, Delon, tell us what your most overrated album of the 2010s was.
The Wizard and Run the Jewels.
And I think I remember you mentioning The Wizard before, saying that you feel like it was the most overrated. Did I feel like The Wizard was really?
I Run the Jewels as most overrated album, but I got The Wizard as one of the most overrated albums. It's definitely the most overrated Future albums because niggas tried defending that shit. Niggas tried talking about how great it was. It's still better than whatever the fuck you put out last month.
This is the best album since Dirty Sprite 2.
Which don't say a lot though. He released album. He released mixtapes.
That's like his 5th best project since Dirty Sprite 2 to me.
No, you're talking about project.
Project. When I say album, Dirty Sprite 2, Hendrix, then Future.
You putting Future over.
Blank Space here. Wizard.
I can't rock with. I can't even listen to Future anymore. Like the album.
I can't either. That's the thing. That's my point.
Hey man. Top 3. Dirty Sprite 2.
Niggas are plugging those misogynist Instagram captions off. Y'all,
hey, I'm glad you said this, Delon. I got a confession, bro. Future Twitter, I gotta leave Future high, fam. I don't know if they got gentrified. It got taken. It ain't the same. Like the misogyny memes don't be hitting no more. They just be saying stuff. They just be putting memes and random comments for no reason, and I don't understand why it don't make sense. Like, I'm trying to watch. Like I was watching like a random chick on Twitch one day, and everybody was in the comments. She belonged to the streets. Like she was playing the game. Like, hey, what's going on? She playing Pokemon. Why does she belong to the streets?
I really hate.
I don't know what's happening.
That little video of like the girl like levitating to heaven, and then like Future God is just smacking her, and then she flying through the air, and like Future's playing in the background. I'm like, what is this? Like, what the hell is this? I hate that video.
It's gone too far.
That man is in love, niggas. Golly, y'all need to stop.
Killing me. He ain't even misogynistic no more. Like he a happy king living his best life. He got Steve Harvey wearing his jackets now. Like, why are we still doing this? Like, this is not 2014 Future no more. This is a different man. Now, he misogynist to his baby mamas, but that's different. He's a different man now.
That's different.
It's different.
Okay, I could rock because, like I said, I thought Hinch was good. I know a lot of people who thought it was like the best album in that respective year, which it was not. It was a good number of albums that were better. I still had to rate it pretty high. I still had to rate it pretty high, but it wasn't like the best his work, and it wasn't definitely the best thing I heard in that respective year.
Cord, are you saying it is debatable that that the Wizard is around the Plugs I Met and Bandana?
Wait, I thought y'all was talking about Hendrix.
No.
I thought he said okay.
No, Wizard.
You just ready to slander Wizard.
Well, he said he said the Wizard, and you said debatable.
Oh, I thought he said Hendrix. My fault.
Yeah, it's cool. Now, my pick for the most overrated album of the 2010s, and this is what confirmed that I was right, because I didn't talk to Dylan about this. I never talked about this with anybody. I not even tweeted about it. But I think Run the Jewels albums are some of the most overrated albums I've heard in the 2010s. For the simple fact they are super critically acclaimed to the point that the critics love it, and then like people in hip hop Twitter themselves like get on Twitter and they're like, yeah, Run the Jewels album, top 3 album this year. And I actually never see anybody push against it until recently. People actually getting on Twitter.
No one listens to. I think no one listens to Run the Jewels. No one listens to those fucking albums over that first time. So no one who is super interested in Killer Mike and wants to push an agenda can go against it. And the niggas that listen to it really don't listen to it like that. It's just one of those things. Hey, it's one of those things.
I don't like those albums at
all.
Twitter
want to push intellectual Southern rap because we don't have much of it. But niggas want to push it where we can.
Wow.
That's why niggas stood up for that last Crit album that was mid. Said, it wasn't that bad. That's why niggas stand up for Run the Jewels. All we got is Killer Mike, and I'm tired of it.
What Crit album we talking about?
The one you haven't listened to?
Oh, the last one.
The last one, right? Oh, okay. Yeah. We ain't gonna talk about it. It never happened. We not gonna talk about it.
I remember listening to Run the Jewels because it was 2014. Forest Hill Drive had just come out, and I was still really like submerging myself in hip hop. I had already been a fan of hip hop for years. I wasn't like super backpack rap. Like I didn't know all the backpack rappers at that point, and so I was watching Rap Genius do their top 100 albums. 50 albums of the year. And I'm expecting Forest Hill Drive to be number 1 for 2014. Because 2014 was a pretty dead year for albums. Like there wasn't a lot of good rap albums that came out that year. So when I got to the bottom, Forest Hill Drive is number 3. I'm like, what could be 1 and 2? Because all the albums I knew about were already after. They already appeared on the list. So it said number 2, I believe, was Run the Jewels. I'm like, I had never heard of this shit before. And this number 1 was Pinata by Freddie Gibbs. So I listened to Pinata, and I said, okay, this is actually amazing. I can see where people are coming from with this. I heard Run the Jewels. Nigga, it sounded like car crashes production-wise for almost every song I heard. It was, I think Killer Mike said something about rapping about a bag of baby dicks. It was a bar. I was like, bro, what is this? Like, what bizarro music are these two making? I'm like, people like this? And so I left it alone. At that moment, because I didn't know anybody who listened to them, so I wasn't about to go on a mad rant on Twitter about Run the Jewels album's overrated, all that stuff. Run the Jewels 2 come out, people say the same thing about, this is one of the best albums this year. That's crazy. Run the Jewels 3 come out, people repeat the same thing. I'm like, I'm not hearing it. Like, I'm not, like, I do not like, every time I try it, I just did not like it. Run the Jewels 4 has come out. I want to say I kind of enjoyed the first couple of songs on there. I haven't finished it, though.
That's that same thing.
I haven't finished it, though. But with that being said, I still feel like the series itself is overrated because it doesn't get slandered, and critics call it the best album in this respective year. And I don't feel it at all.
LPs
What
Run
did
the Jewels
Killer Mike
production
do to deserve
sounds
this?
like they're just using like kitchenware, and that's all the instrumentation for the production.
You
It
know
just
what
sounds
it's,
like they're using pots and pans and
you know what it
Bruh.
sound, you know what it sounded
Those
like.
are two amazing and nice guys. They've done nothing to deserve this.
You know when you open your kitchen drawer and like you reaching for a fork and like the noise it makes when you shuffling between the forks and the spoons.
yeah.
That's what a Run the Jewels production sounds like.
And don't get me
I'm gonna
started on Meow the Jewels or Run the Meow, whatever the fuck that album was called. Where they took out all the instruments and placed cat noises in there for all the beats. The entire thing was
I
cat
can't defend
noises.
it. I can't defend it.
Moving on to the next topic, I want to talk to you guys about the NBA's response to the death of George Floyd, and as well as their takes on Black Lives Matter. So I read the tweet and I did watch the video article on the NBA's response, where they had every team except one team has released a statement regarding what's happening. That one team that didn't release anything, the New York Knicks. Every other team has released a statement in some
I
form.
wonder why.
The Spurs, as a team, didn't release a statement, but Greg Popovich made a statement. But his team has not come out and backed Greg Popovich's words or anything of that nature, or condemned them. But no, every other team made a statement. It's been like, it said it was total like 5,875 words in a statement, but I think it said only 6 statements even mentioned the police. So the police name is mentioned 6 times out of 5,780 words. Only 2,
Whole lot of nothing.
I think the teams were like the Wizards, the Clippers, the Pelicans, and I can't remember the other 3 teams that actually mentioned police. But then only 2 teams mentioned police brutality, which I think one was the Pelicans and the Wizards, and they were the last 2 people to put out a statement. So a lot of teams put out statements saying they supported Black Lives Matter. They supported black people, but only 6 teams even mentioned police. Only 2 teams condemned police brutality. I'll say this: how do you guys feel about the NBA's response? What I would like to point out too is the NBA has not been discouraging players from speaking out on this topic. What do you guys think?
All right, and so that's where I'll kind of pick up, like the point that you made about how only 6 statements mention the police and only 2 mention black police brutality. I will say that I support how the NBA supports its players, and I support what a lot of the players are doing. But with the individual teams and the league as a whole, I mean, enough. I mean, you're doing a little bit isn't enough with the platform that the NBA has. So, I mean, the NBA ought to be going all out, making posts every day, not just a single statement, like donating money and doing everything that it can do. So, I mean, I can appreciate it, but I don't think it's enough.
And like, I'm not exactly sure how many people how many teams have actually donated to the cause. I know that Michael Jordan made $100 million donation to organization fighting racists. I know Steve Ballmer called for CEOs and said they need to speak and encourage action. But I don't know if the Clippers have actually donated anything themselves. I don't know if any teams have. And like, I'm all for making a stance and making a statement. It's important to let people know that you don't agree with police brutality. That's why I think I wish more teams had actually said it. Like, don't speak vaguely. Don't just put out a statement just for the sake of putting a statement. If you're going to be all in, say that, I don't agree with police brutality. This is what this is, police brutality. I don't think that's a bad thing to say. Like, I don't see how anybody can interpret it as wrong. Like, you're not saying that white people are evil. You're not saying that I hate white people or I think that the protesters are right. You're just saying that I think police brutality is wrong, which it's
not a bad thing to say.
No,
at all.
I think anybody and everybody would agree with that. Like, police shouldn't brutalize civilians. I wish more people had came out and said that. But like I said, even then, I wish they would actually take action by donating or doing something. Like, do something. Like, don't just make a statement.
Anything.
Because saying you support someone but doing nothing isn't support.
It's not support.
No.
And the player that I can appreciate the most, I mean, I know it's kind of cliche, but like, really what LeBron has done, the posts that he's made, and like I said, I don't know if he's donating money. I don't know how that's going. But I will say the post that he's made, and especially the way that he came out immediately, and I'm not sure if Drew Brees is a Nike athlete or not, but the way he came out and like immediately went against what Drew Brees said, and was like, I don't care who sees this, I don't care who's against it, and said what he said, I was 100% with it, and I'm glad, because I feel like him saying that opened the door for a lot of other people to be able to disagree with him.
And like I said, I'm glad. I'm like knowing LeBron character and knowing what he's done in the past for things like this nature. I'm pretty sure he has donated in some capacity. We just might not have been known about it. I can give somebody like him the benefit of the doubt because we've seen instances where he does it. But yeah, I agree, Cam. I think it's dope that he has taken a stand during these times and has condemning people like Drew Brees and also others who try to make this about something it isn't. Like Drew Brees brought up the flag when there hasn't been like a flag burned or anything in any video whatsoever, as far as I've seen. I haven't seen no videos people stomping on the flag, and I ain't seen nobody like tearing the flag down. I ain't seen nobody kneeling with a flag in the background. I haven't seen nothing like that. And yet Drew Brees says, how dare they kneel for the flag? Like that, like what? Like that's why I'm glad that people like LeBron's calling them out on the BS. I salute him in that regard for sure. DeLon, how do you feel about this?
It's facts, man. And
I'll say, me personally, especially since this George Floyd tragedy happened in the state of Minnesota, was disappointed by the Timberwolves. Now, of course, so in their statement they did mention George Floyd by name, which one of the important tick marks of it. Well, I mean, they said we're saddened by the senseless tragedy of the death of George Floyd. So, you appreciate that one. They didn't dance around that part.
Yeah.
That being said, unfortunately for them as well, they had to be the first ones to put out a statement. So they didn't really get the chance to, because like the two teams that you said that mentioned police brutality were the ones that came at the end.
Yeah, they were the last team.
Opportunity. But yeah, still, man, it sucks that because I hadn't seen any donations from them. I have seen multiple people within the organization that speak out using their individual platforms.
Shout out to Cat.
Coaches, Cat protesting with Steven Jackson, all that kind of stuff. So individuals around the organization, I am proud of. Timberwolves could either double back, make another statement, make a sizable donation, promise not to use that police force that actually won't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Use that police force at their stadiums, commit to using some other entity for security and all that kind of stuff. Anything to distance themselves from that, because this is a tough situation for being in their city and state.
That's crazy. The whole police department is going to get dissolved. When you think about how big,
that is wild.
When you think about how big that police department is, for them to be like, nah, this cease to exist. Like that's very crazy when you think about it in those terms. But when we talk about the Timberwolves making the response, like I said, it goes back to what I said about the NBA. I love that the NBA lets their players feel free to go out and do these things, because NFL players, I know a lot of them feel like if I speak out, if I go out and do things, I could get blackballed and that could be the end of my career. I don't think any player has that idea in the back of their head. They go out and they do what they say. They say if they want to, and they do what they want to. And the league doesn't really ever hit them with repercussions in terms of talking about domestic things. You know, they were kind of scared talking about non-domestic things at the beginning of the season. But when it comes to like domestic issues and speaking out on problems in their community, the NBA never discourages them from speaking out. I do hate that the teams let the players do so much of the actual leg work when it comes to action, but I'm glad they at least let them do it.
That's one thing, man. Listen, I was like, no exaggeration, no facetiousness, almost shed a fucking tear seeing Karl Anthony Towns standing next to Steven Jackson with a mask on 2 months after his mom died from coronavirus.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that.
That is ridiculous.
That's tough.
Because I think his dad got it too. His dad recovered.
Yeah.
So like for him to feel like I gotta be out here saying something, making a difference, knowing his mom's already passed from it, and then having a father who's been afflicted by it. Like, man, that speaks a lot to Karl Anthony Towns' character, man. That's a great dude. That's a great dude. Whew.
Big facts, man. But I look at it this way. When they come what Drew Brees said, when they come what the NBA team said, don't none of that matter. What Steven Jackson said 2 days after George Floyd got killed. I got love for everybody. I know y'all got love for me. But if you ain't on my side, your love don't mean shit. That covers everything we just talked about with the NBA saying. You know, like I saw Steve Ballmer said. You know, I thought it was cool. I saw Pat Bell said. But Steven Jackson, he hit the nail on the head. First person to say something, had the best statement, Ain't nobody else been close to it. If you ain't on my side, you the ops. Fuck you.
And I don't remember. I don't know if it was. I'm not for sure if it was an NBA athlete, but I did see some public figure come out and make a statement, and the statement was, "Why is basic human rights a debate? Like, why are we even? Why is any of this even a discussion right now?"
Exactly.
Last thing I'll say, we've seen a lot of the NFL came out. Roger Goodell said, "Hey, we apologize. We made mistakes how we handled the 2017 protests." If I don't see a personal Colin Kaepernick invitation,
Exactly,
that don't matter. Then it don't matter. Like they let
apology. Fuck them.
I'm glad you said it.
Because they let Colin Kaepernick be ostracized and mistreated for since this all happened.
No, wait, Jordan. You gotta take up the terrorize.
They
treated that man like shit.
And
they issued a little half-ass apology. Y'all better talk to that man because they said we're going to be talking to players who protested during 2017. Y'all better say that nigga's name and stop blacking him out of the history of football.
Exactly.
That's facts.
Facts.
And my thing, even when Colin was protesting, even I was kind of like, man, you do something like that, you gonna get blackballed this, day, and the third. But for the fact that the NFL trying to come out and be like, oh no, we never meant that, this, that, and the third. Nah, y'all gotta tweet him, y'all gotta call him
Give
when
him
the
a
NFL
bag.
season start, and y'all having little debates in this, that, and the third with Tony Romo, this, that. I want to see Cap up there. I want to see some interviews. I want to see him on the team. I want all that. And Jay-Z, I appreciate what you did. You called people in Minnesota, this, that, and the third. But you over this little NFL shit. I need you on the front line with Cap. Y'all blackballed that man. Y'all took that man's spot. Y'all gave him a little quote-unquote audition, whatever you want to call it. We all know that was Cap. I said Cap. We talking about Cap. Double on Sons. Y'all see what I did there. But you know what I mean, though.
I'm gonna say this too, because I'm gonna say what Cam. This has been probably the best week to bring back around the sun. Because I'm gonna point one last thing out, and that is one of my friends has been advocating for Dak Prescott to get the full amount. Like, Dak Prescott's been fighting to get his full contract. I think it's funny that he gonna use that money to give it to the police. I think that's hilarious. Like, I thought that was so funny.
Hey,
as soon as I read it, I'm like, why is he doing this?
Soft ain't saying nothing else about Dak since. He been on this show for months. As a black man, give him this contract. He need his money to take care of his family. Nigga taking care of the pigs, take care of the cops. It's tough.
Hey, boy, that Krispy Kreme fund to hit a head. I saw a big boost.
That nigga Dak Prescott been having a rough 4 years in this league. God damn.
Hey, bro.
That nigga having a rough 4 years.
Nah, say, man.
Ass beat the
I'm
first
gonna tell
year.
you what I said 4 years
Sometime
ago
3 years.
when he went to Mississippi State. You can't trust no nigga named Dakota. He named Dakota. Who you know ain't Dakota that you trust? I only trust Dakota Fanning, and I don't even know her. Come on, man. Nigga named Dakota.
All right.
You black in your first name Dakota. Ain't even no black people in Dakota. North or south.
Not a single
Well,
one. I was there.
If it makes you feel any better, his middle name is Rain. So,
So that
Dakota Rain Prescott. Raine, I believe.
I was afraid it was that one. I was afraid it was.
God, that's crazy.
Okay.
Somebody fact check me on
crazy.
All right. That's all I got, fellas. You guys have any closing thoughts before we leave?
Sons, get it done.
Fuck Ebro. He owe Kanye an apology.
Facts. All right. Oh, Delon, I saw you took the Nicki Minaj quiz. How'd the results come back?
How'd it be a barb?
Fam, hey, I was surprised. I did not know I knew that much about Nicki Minaj. I'm like, so is this just my encyclopedic rap knowledge, or do I just know Nicki Minaj?
It's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong with being a stan, man.
I'm a barb, man. I took some discovering, but I got 9 out of the 12 questions right. So it is what it is.
Delon Minaj, love to see it.
Send me that test. I also think I may be barb. I may be like a double agent barb. I might
find it.
I think you are. I think you are.
I might be, but I think I am, man. The only thing is, when Cardi come back,
Curtains.
I don't want to be that guy. I stand everybody. but nobody at the same time.
All artists matter. I understand, Corey.
We are
All right.
numbers.
So
All right. So that's all we got. Thank you for tuning into the episode of Pop of the Man podcast. Tune in next week for the episode of your favorite podcast. See you then.